What is going on, you guys? AK40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven. So I made a video yesterday revealing that I'm getting rid of Trooper 7, the PC that I built a little over a year ago, and I'm buying a pre-built. I explained the reasons why I went with a pre-built vice building another PC, and I said during that video that I would make another video revealing exactly what pre-built I went with and why, and that is this video here. The thumbnail isn't clickbait or teasing. I did indeed go with an Alienware R11, which I know is a controversial pre-built PC. They've had some cooling issues in the past, and they are rather expensive for what they are, for the components in them. However, there are some pretty good reasons why I chose this pre-built. I'm going to go over them right now. Let's get it. Alrighty guys, over here at my PC. So as I alluded to during the introduction, I did indeed get an R11 from Alienware. So first off, I will just say cosmetically, I think this PC looks absolutely awesome. You cannot get this case individually as a standalone and then put it into a non-pre-built PC. You have to get this through Alienware. And you know, it's really hit and miss. Some people aren't a huge fan of the looks. I think it looks awesome. It kind of looks like a jet turbine intake, and it just looks super cool. Now, there were some issues with some of the older Alienware PCs having throttling and even crashing issues due to heat. And, you know, even on the R11, that's kind of a concern for people because when you look at the fact that there's only one intake fan down here at the bottom, it's a 120 millimeter intake fan, and then you have one exhaust fan on the top. They don't have any pictures of the top here, but there's one 120 millimeter fan on the top. That is not a whole lot of cooling. Now, the CPU in the model I did get is water cooled or liquid cooled. It does have a water block right on there, so that's good to keep the CPU cool, especially because, as you can see, the side doesn't really have a whole heck of a lot of ventilation. There's two ports here. The PSU or power supply unit sits right here. As soon as I get it, I will be doing a full unboxing, not disassembling, but unboxing, popping off the side panel, sliding the power supply unit out of the way to show you guys the CPU, where the RAM is, because it's a lot different than like your typical built PC like Trooper 7 over here, where everything's just like right up there for you to tinker with. They kind of have everything behind shrouds and covers and stuff like that, as it is a pre-built, and they expect that the people that buy them either don't know or don't want to mess around with them, and they probably don't want them to as well. They would probably prefer you to use their warranty support. Now, this does come with 1 year of not only remote support, but if you can't fix the issue, they can have somebody come out to your house free of charge to check it out. Me being a pretty PC proficient guy, I've built 3 or 4 gaming PCs on this channel over the last year and a half. If I have an issue, I'm going to take apart the case and I'm going to tinker with it. But if I can't fix it myself, it's just good to know I have support there. And also all the components in there, including that 3080 graphics, including that RTX 3080 graphics card, do have an extended warranty in addition to the regular component manufacturer warranty from like NVIDIA, or AMD for the CPU, or Intel for the CPU, etc. Just getting the big old elephant out of the room real quick. The reason that I chose this particular PC over all the other pre-builts out there, NZXT, Origin, iBuyPower, CyberPower, etc. I made a video about 3 days ago when I was looking to get a 3080 or 3090 graphics card for crypto mining, as well as video production, and then of course gaming. And the only way to really get one is to pay more than double the retail price, so probably about 130% of MSRP or retail to a scalper, where you might not even get the card period, or to get a pre-built. And I had like 9 tabs open in that video. I did a builder for NZXT, Origin, all those, looked at them. All of those were either more expensive than what I paid for to get a 3080 in this pre-built here, or they had a delivery date of April or later. And this is coming, I'll show you guys, estimated delivery date of Wednesday, February 17th. It's Wednesday, which is freaking awesome. I don't believe it requires a signature or anything, so hopefully I just come home and my neighbors haven't stole it and aren't playing COD on it or anything like that. So I'd see him on that Ring doorbell. I'd be like, I see you, Jerry. Bring that PC back before I bust your kneecaps there, mister. But I specifically chose this PC because all the other PCs that you could get pre-built that had a 3080 or 3090 in them were well in excess of $3,000. A lot of them are about $4,500. And those aren't even with the 3090. Some of those were with the 3080. So I was like, And then also, I was like, well, Dell had a contract with the military for over a decade when they were the sole computer provider, not only fax machines, printers, but also like desktops. I remember like Dell had, you know, in recruiting offices and also in stations across North America, Dell was the primary military provider. So I was like, I'm in the military. I have a cat card. I can, see if maybe they can give me a little discount. Sure enough, I'm glad I reached out to them. I messaged them directly because they don't have anything on their site that I could see about military discount. There was no at checkout, you couldn't apply for it or anything like that. I emailed them. I got 10% off this PC, which is pretty huge. That knocked about $250 off the price tag. So I know you guys are probably wondering, I'm talking a lot about price and whatnot. How much did this bad boy actually cost? It's not cheap, that's for sure. So I'll have to blur my address here post-editing so you guys don't post out in front of my house on Wednesday and rob me. But so it was $2,650, but with the 10% off, it came down to $2,400. So I actually paid less than, civilian retail with my tax and shipping and all that other good stuff. Tax was $173. That's pretty expensive. And again, that's actually one of the reasons I bought a pre-built PC instead of just buying the graphics card, is this is a tax write-off because it is a business expense for the YouTube channel. So for 2021, I will be claiming this as a tax write-off as it is. I'm going to be using this primarily for, video production and whatnot, for video editing in Adobe Premiere. Granted, I will be doing other things with it too, like streaming and crypto mining, and that's another thing. I wanted to get a 3080 pretty darn quickly because I'm going to be earning just over $300 US a month after my electrical costs by using the same mining software that I do now. I usually make about slightly over $100 a month, if that. Usually about 90 to 105, 110, depending on the month and the algorithms. With mining with my 2060 Super over here, but the 3080, I'll be making about $320 a month. So this is going to pay for itself eventually. It's going to take a while. It'll pay for the $700 MSRP for a 3080 graphics card, but to pay for the entire PC, it will take a while. But just earning that passive income over time when I'm sleeping or when I'm at work, just having it mining, and then when I get home, hop on there, do some 4K video editing for the channel, do some streaming, enjoy the PC. That's the big thing, is like, it's been a rough year. I'd like to enjoy a very nice, strong gaming PC. And this thing is, nothing's wrong with Trooper 7. Trooper 7's a great PC, but this is better. It's got a better CPU. It's got a better GPU. It has a better PSU or power supply unit. It's 1,000 watts instead of 600 watts. The only things I'm actually taking a small downgrade on would be the storage, but I can actually transfer over some of the storage from Trooper 7. Although I want to keep it intact pretty well, because I am selling this PC also to counteract some of the cost from purchasing this pre-built here. But yeah, it has a little bit less storage in it, and then also the RAM, I'm going down to 16 gigs instead of 32. And then also it's slower too. I have 4 8GB sticks overclocked to 3666 in my CPU, in my PC right now. The main reason I have all that fast RAM is that I have an AMD processor right now, and AMD processors really like fast RAM. They're very susceptible to quick RAM. This new PC has an Intel i7 in it, a 10th generation Intel i7. And I could have gone with the i10. It was like a $200 upgrade, but I wanted to keep the build costs relatively down. And also, for just gaming and some basic productivity work, the i7 right here, 8 core, 16 threads, 16 megabyte cache with a 3.8 base clock and a 5.1 boost with Turbo Boost Max 3.0. That is the biggest marketing gimmick name ever. Turbo Boost Max Tomahawk Deluxe. But an i7, a 10th gen i7 for just gaming and basic productivity performs very close to an i10 with, about $200 cheaper. So somebody's going to tell me in the comment section I'm wrong, but I do my research. I know what I'm talking about. So here's all the specs of this bad boy here. It is the Alienware Aurora R11, premium support for 1 year. This guy also threw in 36 months of McAfee, which is an antivirus. I'll probably just uninstall that because, to be honest, I haven't made a video about this yet, but really the only antivirus you need is Windows Defender, which is baked into Windows 10. You don't really need another antivirus program, and a lot of times it conflicts with Windows Defender, or they scan the same files at the same time and it causes all kinds of crappy issues. They're trying to cache the same viruses or threats and stuff like that. It confuses the other programs to where it literally makes Windows Defender work less potent and less accurate as a antivirus than if you just had that running. And all these cost money here, so trust me, Windows Defender is pretty much all you need for basic PC security, unless you're doing some really nefarious stuff, in which I'd recommend using a burner PC with a VPN on if you're doing that. So And I'm not judging you. That's part of the purpose I have that burner PC back there, old Ben, that $130 Dell Optiplex, is if I'm downloading any software programs that I don't trust to download on my primary, $3,000 PC basically, then I run it on that $130 sucker back there with a VPN on. If I'm downloading some like ROMs or emulators that could be construed as illegal, even though they're just legal backups of, N64 and PS1 games that I have owned in the past. It's a huge gray area there, just like streaming, streaming things to a jailbroken Fire Stick with Kodi on it. Are you going to go to prison? Probably not, but is it like 100% legal? Not really either. That's why if you are going to do that kind of stuff, just make sure you protect yourself. VPN and probably not your primary PC. So this does come with a keyboard and mouse. However, I've seen the keyboard and mouse they come with. They are super crappy, but it was already included with the PC. I'll use them. I'll probably use them on old Ben back there, but they're not like, you're going to want like a gaming keyboard and mouse if you're buying a PC like this. So Lunar Light is that white color there. They also do have a black version that's called not Lunar White. It's called like not Lunar White. And they call it a chassis, not a case. And it kind of is more of a chassis because, like I said, it's not like a individual component build. Since it is a pre-built, it's almost more like a gaming console. When you take off the case, it's like everything's in there like in a weird orientation. You guys will see when I do the unboxing and like partial disassembly of it. It's it is like a chassis. Like everything's bolted to this main rigidity frame in there, and then the case wraps around it. But it is liquid cooled CPU with 1,000-watt power supply. There's that graphics card, that 3080, 10 gigabytes of VRAM, which is DDR6. We already talked about the i7 in that bad boy. 1-year warranty from Dell. A power cord, great. Now this does come with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and supposedly it's very, very high-end Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. I won't be using the Wi-Fi because obviously I'm going to be connecting to Ethernet, but I will be doing some speed tests with it. Obviously, one of the first videos I make with this thing is going to be benchmarks for the CPU in Cinebench, and then also GPU tests and like Haven, and just different Unigen graphical tests. And then I'm also going to run some internet speed tests with the Wi-Fi and the Ethernet as well. It does have Bluetooth 5.1, which is pretty cool. Storage-wise, I went with a 512 gigabyte M.2 PCMe NVMe as my boot drive, and a 1 terabyte traditional old-school mechanical hard drive for storage. Again, I have 3 hard drives in Trooper 7 right now, and I'm probably going to leave 2 of them in when I sell it and take out. I do have a Sabrent Rocket 1 terabyte NVMe SSD that is actually one of the fastest NVMEs on the market. It's like 5,000 read and like 4,400 write. That is stupid fast. It's so fast that they actually sell a heat sink for it, because if it's reading and writing that fast, it can actually warm up. 16 gigs of RAM. I think the motherboard's only dual channel. I don't even think it has 4 slots, which kind of sucks. So it's not like I can just drop in 2 of the sticks from my Trooper 7. Plus, I couldn't do that anyway because they're not even the same timing. Anyway, this is 2933 megahertz. Again, the memory I have in there right now is 3666. It does come with a subscription to Windows 10, which is cool. It does come with McAfee 30-day, and then a 30-day trial only of Office. I would have liked if they would have, it's an option, it's an add-on. It costs like $150 or something, but you can add on Office. I wish they would have included that because you're already getting a really expensive pre-built. I think they should have just included a basic, it doesn't have to be Office Pro or anything, but maybe Office Home would have been nice. But you get a 30-day trial, and then, my nefarious ass knows how to get Office anyway, so not too concerned about an Office subscription. And then you have your $3 optical mouse here that's literally made out of paper mache and will probably crumple in your hand. It's not that bad, but it's cheap. It's not like a real gaming mouse or anything like that. So that is what's coming here. Hopefully next Wednesday, guys. I'm super excited. I really, really am. I'm a guy that generally preaches to build PCs because you are going to get the lowest build cost. You're also going to get that bond with your machine, just like the guy that works on his car or motorcycle. It's the same thing with a PC. You know every component in there, so if there's an issue, you know how to troubleshoot it immediately. Not to mention, if it's time to upgrade a specific component, a new GPU, new sticks of RAM, you already know how to do all that stuff As we're at the pre-built, it's a little more complicated. You've got additional shrouds and covers over everything. Some of the stuff might be firmware blocked where they don't even want you to touch the components unless you take it into Dell to get on a special tool. It's probably not that crazy, but I'm actually really excited. This thing has a 3080 in it, so that's a big upgrade from my 2060 Super. Considering a 3080 is substantially more powerful than a 2080 Ti, and I have a 2060 Super, so we're talking about some ray tracing, guys. We're talking about some DLSS. We're talking about some HDR. We're talking about some high frame rate streaming. So I'm excited. This will also help me with my video editing. I do a lot of 4K video editing, and rendering videos takes a long time. So this should speed that up. The benefits of crypto mining, it's going to pay for itself over time. That's great. And I'm just super excited. I really am. Hopefully I stay excited. Hopefully Wednesday doesn't roll around and it's like comes damaged, or it's not damaged, but it's just a piece of crap. Like, it's not as awesome as I think it's going to be. About the cooling issues that I mentioned, the newer generation, the R10 and the R11, which are the current models sold. The R10 is the AMD CPU and the R11 is the Intel CPU. They don't really have those cooling issues. They cool 10 to 15% better than previous gen Alienware desktops. Not to mention, there is also a mod that you can do to these where you add an additional fan on the top. So I might do that if I am experiencing throttling issues, but I don't plan on overclocking these components in there. And if I want to overclock the CPU, it is water cooled, so that should be fine. But I don't plan on overclocking the GPU, as it is already a beast, the 3080. So I don't think I'm going to experience any throttling or cooling issues, to be 100% honest with you guys. I think that's going to do it, guys. Drop in the comment section below if you think I'm a big old dum-dum for getting rid of Trooper 7 for a pre-built that could potentially fry like an egg the first time I turn it on. Or if you think this is going to be good for me and good for the channel and good for just good all around, just a positive thing. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Oh yeah, make sure you guys subscribe so you are aware when that video comes online when I unbox the new PC and do the benchmarks and all that stuff. All right, now peace.